found out about Martell cheating in March of 2017, I moved out, started talking to attorneys about what, divorce would look like, what my steps were. I went out on a few dates, right? But I thought my marriage was over. I know for a fact that he gets excited when it seems like things aren't going well for me. And I think that's because that makes him feel like if she doesn't do well, she'll come back. If she can't provide for herself, she'll come back. So, Melody is not coming back.
It's been months of silence, whispers, and rumors, but now, Melody Shari is finally speaking her truth. The woman who built her empire, fought through heartbreak, and stood tall in the face of public humiliation is no longer holding back. After reports surfaced that Martell Holt, the man she once called her husband, allegedly played a role in her being fired from Love and Marriage, Huntsville, fans were left stunned. How could someone she shared her life, her dreams, and her family with possibly try to destroy her career? What could drive a man to allegedly sabotage the woman who helped him rise to fame? But Melody isn't staying silent anymore.
They always talk about how, they don't take sides. But now here she is being disrespectful, and this is like a point of her taking Melody's side because she's always pointing the finger, like, Martell, you destroyed your family, you cheated on your wife and things like that. No, that. Melody, she cheated too.
She's ready to tell the world what really happened, and trust me, this story is full of betrayal, heartbreak, and strength you can't fake. Melody Shari's journey began long before reality TV cameras ever entered her life. She wasn't born into fame or fortune, she built everything from the ground up. A driven entrepreneur, loving mother, and community leader, Melody worked tirelessly to create a name for herself. Her business ventures, especially the property preservation company she co-founded with Martell, showed that she wasn't afraid of hard work or responsibility. When Love and Marriage, Huntsville first premiered, fans immediately connected with Melody. She was strong, stylish, and articulate, everything you'd expect from a successful woman balancing career and family. But she wasn't just another face on a TV screen. Her story represented resilience and the challenges Black women often face when trying to have it all.
I put in my paperwork is for Martell to have full custody of the kids.
I'll knock you in your face.
I don't want my kids to be around that. You cheated.
I will knock the out this for real.
So what was your sexual activity with somebody else? What was your sexual activity with somebody else? It don't matter.
Sign the paper.
I've been trying to sign the paper.
You
Why
have
you saying that?
You don't want it.
The only reason I want to be back with you is for the kids.
That may be an excuse that works for your
ain't
that you deal with.
You're
It
right
doesn't
now.
work for me. You know you the one that this marriage up, and you trying to call me a hoe? You ain't.
At first, Melody and Martell were the show's golden couple. They were attractive, ambitious, and seemed unstoppable. Their partnership symbolized Black excellence, unity, and success. Viewers admired how they balanced their marriage, children, and growing business empire. But as the seasons went on, the cracks began to show. Behind the polished smiles and camera-ready moments, Melody was living a different reality. Rumors began to swirl about Martell's infidelity, but many fans brushed it off until Melody confirmed it herself. The betrayal wasn't just a private heartbreak, it was broadcast for the world to see. Martell's long-term affair, which even led to a child outside of their marriage, became one of the show's most explosive storylines. For Melody, this wasn't just about being cheated on.
Martell playing mind games, that's just what he does. Like him showing up here today with these flowers, this smile on his face like Prince Charming, when we all know that he's responsible for all of the stuff happening on social media pertaining to me. That could change people's opinions about me by him giving these false narratives. He's responsible for that.
It was about trust shattered in public, humiliation televised, and trying to protect her children from the fallout. Every episode felt like reopening a wound that hadn't healed yet. Still, she showed grace. She showed strength. She refused to let the pain define her. Even after their divorce, Melody continued to shine. She grew her brand, launched her skincare line, and started focusing on her music and motivational speaking. She was finally stepping into her own light separate from Martell's shadow. But that's when things took an unexpected turn. It started quietly. Fans noticed Melody appearing less on Love and Marriage, Huntsville.
I hate that Martell is using time that we would agree for me to take as a mother, wife, business owner, just the time to steal away. I hate that he's trying to use that to make it seem as if I was meeting men at hotels. What a way to project. Projection is real, because we all know what you was doing.
Her scenes were shorter, her storylines seemed smaller, and then suddenly rumors exploded online that Melody had been let go from the show. At first, people assumed it was just contract drama. But then whispers began to circulate that Martell might have had something to do with it. Allegedly, Martell used his connections with producers to push Melody out. Some insiders claimed he was bitter about how the public viewed him as the villain of the series. Others suggested it was about control. Maybe Martell couldn't stand seeing Melody thrive without him. Maybe he wanted her to feel the same loss and powerlessness he once did. Whatever the motive, the rumor caught fire. Social media lit up with posts from fans defending Melody and calling out Martell's alleged involvement. "He can't stand to see her win," one fan wrote. "She made that show what it is," another commented. Martell, of course, denied any wrongdoing. But his social media activity didn't help. He posted cryptic quotes about betrayal, loyalty, and revenge, leaving fans convinced he was taking subtle shots at Melody. It felt like even after their marriage ended, he still wanted control over her narrative. For Melody, the news hit hard. She dedicated years to that show not just for fame, but to inspire women going through similar struggles. To know that her place on the show could be taken away, allegedly by the man who once promised to protect her, was deeply painful. But here's where Melody showed her true strength. Instead of reacting with anger, she took a step back. She watched the chaos unfold, stayed quiet for months, and focused on herself. Until now. In a recent interview, Melody finally broke her silence. Her voice was calm but firm, filled with emotion, but steady with truth. "I've been through storms before," she said. "This one just reminded me that sometimes the people you think will protect you are the first ones to betray you. I built so much with him," she said softly. "Not just a family, but a legacy. To think that someone I once loved could be behind the scenes pulling strings against me, it's heartbreaking." Her words struck a chord with fans everywhere. Thousands of messages poured in, showing support and admiration. People called her an inspiration, a survivor, and a reminder that no amount of betrayal can silence true strength. The situation also shook the Love and Marriage, Huntsville cast. Some of Melody's co-stars publicly supported her, expressing how unfair it felt to lose such an essential voice from the show. One cast member even said, "Mel has always been the heartbeat of this series. Losing her isn't just losing a storyline, it's losing authenticity." Others, however, stayed quiet. Their silence spoke volumes, leaving fans wondering where their loyalty really stood. Was it fear of the producers? Or were they quietly siding with Martell? The division became clear, both on and off camera. The show itself started facing backlash. Viewers began questioning its integrity. Was it still a fair portrayal of real lives, or was it being manipulated by personal vendettas? Many fans threatened to boycott, saying the series just wouldn't be the same without Melody's presence. Meanwhile, Melody focused on what she could control: her future. She shared glimpses of new business ventures, collaborations, and speaking engagements. "I'm creating on my own terms now," she said. "I don't need a platform that doesn't respect me." And she wasn't lying. Melody's brand began to soar even higher. Her skincare line, Madani Beauty, saw massive support. Her motivational appearances drew packed crowds. She even hinted at developing her own media projects where she would have full creative control. But what really captured hearts was her resilience. Melody refused to drag Martell publicly, even with all the speculations surrounding his alleged role. Instead, she let her actions speak for her. "I've learned that peace is more powerful than revenge," she said. "And success is the best answer to betrayal." Still, the emotional toll can't be ignored. Melody has admitted there were nights she cried herself to sleep, wondering how everything she built could crumble so fast. "It's one thing to lose a job," she said. "But it's another to lose something you helped create, something that carried your name and your heart." Her pain was real, but so was her determination. She leaned on her faith, her family, and the fans who stood by her side. Slowly, she rebuilt herself stronger, wiser, and more intentional. Sometimes God removes you from spaces before you realize those spaces weren't meant to hold your purpose anymore, she said in one emotional moment. It hurt, yes. But it also freed me. And maybe that's what this whole journey has been about: freedom. Freedom from the control of a toxic relationship. Freedom from being portrayed as just a reality TV character. Freedom to live her truth, fully and fearlessly. As for Martell, his public image has taken hit after hit. While he's tried to rebrand himself as a devoted father and businessman, many viewers still struggle to see past the damage. Some believe he regrets how things played out, while others think he's still fueled by ego. Either way, the once power couple is now a reminder that love, when mixed with pride and betrayal, can turn into something unrecognizable. But Melody isn't looking back anymore. She's looking forward to new beginnings, new opportunities, and a peace that can't be taken away. Her story has evolved from heartbreak to healing, from pain to purpose. As she recently told fans, "I may have lost a platform, but I found my voice." Those words hit differently. They remind everyone watching that no matter how dark life gets, light always finds a way through the cracks. So while love and marriage, Huntsville continues without her, Melody's story is far from over. In fact, this may just be the start of her greatest chapter yet. Because when a woman rebuilds her life after being betrayed by the one she loved most, there's no stopping her. Melody Shari isn't just surviving. She's thriving. And as the world watches her rise, one thing is clear: no amount of rumors, betrayal, or reality TV politics can silence a woman who has finally learned to speak her truth. As the dust begins to settle, one thing has become clear: Melody Shari's story isn't about pain anymore. It's about transformation. She's taken every wound, every betrayal, and turned it into wisdom. She's no longer asking why things happened the way they did. Instead, she's thanking God for the strength she found in the process. For years, people tried to silence her voice, to define her worth, to control her image. But what they didn't realize is that you can't silence purpose. Every setback was just preparing her for something greater. Every door that closed pushed her closer to her destiny. Now, when Melody walks into a room, she carries peace, not pain. She speaks from experience, not anger. And that's what makes her unstoppable. She's showing the world that sometimes losing what you thought you needed is the only way to find who you really are. Her story isn't over, it's just shifting into a new chapter filled with clarity, power, and faith. She's building her own platforms, creating new opportunities, and walking proudly in her truth. And maybe that's the real victory: not proving anyone wrong, but proving to herself that she was always strong enough to survive the storm. So as the cameras fade and the noise quiets down, Melody stands tall, not as the woman Martell tried to break, but as the woman who refused to stay broken. Her light is brighter, her voice is stronger, and her peace is finally her own.